I'm Malaysia right now.
Okay. Okay, well, let's wait a bit, maybe around 5 minutes
Okay,
for
sure. No.
participants.
How was the weather? What is the weather right now in Indonesia?
Well, it's raining every day.
Oh, quite similar with Malaysia. Malaysia also the same. Yeah,
Yes.
really also rain. Yeah.
Yeah, usually in the afternoon we have a heavy rain. So it's like, it's almost every day it's raining and many people got sick.
Yeah,
And
because changing weather, right? Yeah.
exactly, yeah. I mean, it's approaching the New Year's now, and yeah, I don't think it's a good time to have vacations because wherever you go now, it's always raining, and also we have a problem with flood as well. And perhaps maybe if you like to visit in Indonesia, perhaps maybe around June or July, the weather, the temperature is not that hot and it's not raining.
Hmm. June and July is the better periods to
Yep,
visit
yep.
Indonesia. Oh, right.
Have you ever visited to Indonesia before?
No.
No? Okay. Well, you should. Well, I think
Yeah.
we should invite you, perhaps maybe for the international conference as a panel sessions, as a panelist in the panel session. So maybe it's a good, um, you know, we will have a good experience to learn from you. So perhaps
I'm looking.
maybe, yeah.
How about you? Have you been to Malaysia before?
Yes, I've been to KL and Penang before for a conference, and actually, my uncle used to live in Penang. He was a consulate. He was a consulate in Penang, and well, I had a great experience. I mean, especially for the food, it's not the difference, and so the weather is also the same. And well, about the price, I think it's comparable, more or less same. So yeah, I like going around in Malaysia.
You like the food in Penang also? Okay.
Yeah. Also in Penang. Well, if I compare Penang and KL, I like Penang more. I mean, it's less crowded than KL. Well, actually, KL it's just like a Jakarta. I mean, it's too many people, traffic jams. But I think the traffic jams in KL is much well. It's not you know it's better. That the traffic is better than in Jakarta because in Jakarta it's every day is you will face traffic jams, and you will perhaps maybe you would you would stuck in the traffic for like 2 to 4 hours,
Yeah. That's
especially during
one
raining.
location, the other location, right? Yeah. Correct.
Okay, I think let's begin. Okay, assalamualaikum everyone. Good morning, and it is my honor to welcome all of you today in International Guest Lecture. And this morning, we are privileged to dive into an important topic in labor economics, which is the social security laws and benefits. First of all, we are delighted to introduce our esteemed guest speaker, Dr. Cheong Jiaki. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Um, but before we begin,
Correct.
let me highlight her academic profile. Dr. Cheong Jiaki is a senior lecturer at University Technology Perak, Malaysia. Dr. Cheong is a distinguished scholar in labor economics with a remarkable research portfolio that spans gender earning issues, food insecurity, and small and medium enterprise employment challenges. Her contributions include publications in high-impact journals such as the Asia-Pacific Journals of Education and Asian Economic Papers, and her extensive work on COVID-19's socioeconomic impact has set a new benchmark in the field. Beyond academia, Dr. Cheong has demonstrated her leadership as an international research advisor and has received numerous awards, including the Best Paper Awards at international conferences. We are truly fortunate to have you here to share knowledge, and especially about the social security laws. And I also extend my gratitude to my students, to all my students and all the all the participants who are joining us today. Okay, now let us warmly welcome Dr. Cheong to begin her lecture. Thank you very much. Time is yours.
Could you please share the universe? Can we share the slide?
I'm sorry?
Could you please share the slide that I shared to you
Hold on.
before? Because I couldn't share it. Only host and co-host can share.
Oh, okay, hold on. Okay, now you can. Sorry.
Harus didik seorang fasilitator.
Good morning, everyone.
I think there is a problem with your audio. It's bouncing. Your voice bouncing.
How about right now? Is it okay?
Well, it's okay now. Yes.
Can you see the slide?
Yes, we can see the slide, but it's not on the slideshow. So
Yes, it already shown at the slideshow, but it's still not the slideshow right now. How about right?
it's still, you know, on the normal window, not the in the full screen slideshow.
I already show it in the slideshow right here. Then how about your side? Is it you still not in the
Yeah,
slide?
it's not you know, the full screen or the slideshow. It's still just like, you know, the regular PowerPoint. So I think first you can click the slideshow first, and then you can share the slideshow instead of the PowerPoint.
I already clicked on the slideshow, but it's still because this button is from the current slide.
Okay.
How about right now? Can you see it?
Well, now you can share the slideshow because you haven't shared the slideshow now. Go to Zoom and then you share the slideshow.
How?
Well, it's not the
Yes.
full screen, but I think it's okay. I mean, we can still see it clearly.
Sorry for the technical problem.
It's okay.
I try another mode. Is it still the same?
Sorry?
How about right now? Is it still the same?
Yeah, it's still the same.
Like that, then I just good morning, every one of you. Thanks for inviting me to be the guest lecturer. Today, I would like to share with you all the social security law and the benefits. For this course, actually, I would like to share with you about how to promote the inclusions and our human developments over here. So, in this chapter, we will be talk about. Yes.
I'm sorry. I think you need to reshare the slides again because we cannot see your slide now.
I cannot see the slide right now. How about right
Okay.
now? Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
Sorry again. Okay, for this social security law and benefits, we will be covered in certain areas, and then we will be talks about what are the objectives of our social security system, and then employee providence of the fund. Employee providence funds is one of the social security for those old age people, such as those who already retired, and then those after they are already quit their jobs, then they still have money for them to survive, to pay for their necessary food, to pay for their shelter, and then to continue living. And then for the employee provident funds, there will have contributions that require pay by the and the workers as well, right? And then the others, we will be discussed about is Workers Social Security Act. This one is one of the security acts that help people to know that if they are facing some injury or maybe they are facing some accidents, then that will be covered and then paid by some of the insurance company. Then this will help them to pay the money when they do not have any income during the periods that they get injured. Later on, we also will be talk about that. And then in this Employee Social Security Acts, they have contributions will be paid by the workers and the boss as well. The last one is the Workmen Compensations Act. This act will be discussed about what are the insurance, what are the conditions when the workers who are working Malaysia, and then those who are coming from the other country, maybe those who are coming from Indonesia, or maybe those who come from Bangladesh or Bangla, or those who are come from Vietnam who are working in Malaysia, and then these are the insurance and the protections that they can be used and to help them when they are facing and protects them. So these are the social security benefits that will be discussed later on. So from the social security, they have the rights to every one of us to access and maintain the benefits. Whether you are gender in male or females, or maybe whether you are those who are black or white, or those who are young age, who are for under 25 years old, or who are in the age of 59 or 50, within the age range of 18 to 60, then you will be going to have your secure protections over here. So they didn't say that they do not have any discriminations in the social security over here. For next slide, we will be discuss about the social security system. For this system, why that we need to have the social security, because when we are facing some financial stress, when you are loss of your income or you have reductions in your income. So, for example, when you are facing unemployment, such as during the COVID times, because many people that are facing some employments during that period because company that didn't work well, and then they didn't get any profits, then there will be stop hire. So the people will be phased off their income. The others people will be get protections over here is the post retirements. For the post-retirement, which means that those who already retire after the age of 55 and 60. Previously in Malaysia, those who are age of 55, then there will be compulsory to retire during that period. But now they already increased the age of the retirement age to 16 years old already. So after the periods of that, then they will be having the money for them to spend. So therefore, this is what are the reasons why that we have our social security system over here. The others peoples are those who are facing accident or serious illness over here. Maybe those who are facing accident or serious during the periods of their working hours, or maybe during the periods when they go from the destiny when they from and then go to their work. So able to go to their work maybe during two weeks or maybe during 1 month like that. So the social security system will help them to pay for their losses. Next is the childbirth, like childbirth, especially for those women. Then during the periods when they are giving the birth over there for the 3 months, then the social security will also pay their income during that periods. Next is what? The date of income earner. Some of them, there are dual income family, or but some of them, they are only rely on their husbands to earn their money. So during that period, if one of them they get accidents or maybe there are deaths during their working hours, and then what can they do is the social security will help them to pay the money for them so that they have money to pay for their foods and their cost of living during that period. So this is the meaning of why that we need to be study the social security system. And then if we knows about all this right and law, therefore this will help us to solve a lot of our financial problems. Okay. Next, we move to see the social security for the post-retirement. From here, we have 4 elements over here. The first one is the voluntary saving and the investment. For the voluntary saving and investment, which means that any one of the workers, they have the rights to save their own money in voluntarily. Like they can be invest in the private pension fund. The private pension fund, they can in all the bank, all the commercial banks that will be provided the private pension funds over here, so that the workers they can have options and voluntarily do the saving. If they found that for this month they earn 3,000 and then they found that they have extra money, maybe they have extra money 100 or 200, then they can be put in the private pension fund. So this private pension fund they can be taken out after they retire. And then these private pension funds or even the investment voluntary saving in the bank not only can be invested by those who are permanent workers in here, permanent residents who are working in Malaysia. They also can be saved by those foreign workers. If those foreign workers who are working in Malaysia, who are from the other country, they also have the opportunities to invest in the already stop working in Malaysia, they can be withdraw the money with the interest over here. So these are the voluntary saving and investment. And then every year they're also able to get like 4 to 6%. It depends on the situations how they're going to get. If they perform well during their investment, so they are able to get more dividends over here, right? And then next is the state provided of the pensions, which means that the governments that are issued over here, all the pensions rules that want to be followed by all the pensioners and all the recipients also over here. For these pensions, there will be not only benefits by the pensioners, it also will be benefit for those who are husband and wife if they are facing any problems or maybe they're already dead of one of them. The beneficial people is the pensioner will be benefits by those children who are need to make sure that they are not married yet. If they're already married, then they are not eligible to enjoy the benefits of the pension cards over here anymore. Then if they found that they're already pensions after the age of 50 and 16 years old, then the governments will be paid all their cost of living during that period. Next is the employer's provisions of the pensions, which means that these will be eligible for all of the permanent residents. For example, for those who are working in the government sectors, and then they will be eligible to get the employer's provisions pensions over here. But they cannot use the money after they retire, or then only they will be able to use the money for that. The last terms that will be provided, or the last types of the post-retirements of the Social Security for the post-retirements is the joint employers and employees contributions of the savings scheme. Over here, which means that both of the boss and the workers, they also will be giving out the percentage of the bonus of the money of the income based on the incomes of the workers, and that both of them also will be going to contribute. The employers will be contribute 12%, and then the workers will be contribute 11%. And then we call this joint employers and employee contributions savings scheme as EPF over here. The EPF over here, we call it as the Employee Provident Fund. So this employee provident funds, they are compulsory for all the boss to be contributes of the savings scheme, so that there can be protects all the workers who help them to work over here. And then this initiative actually they would provide the greater fairness in the labor markets, because they want to ensure that the social protection is not for all of the workers. And then in Malaysia now, currently they only provided for all the permanent all the residents over here. And then they plan for the foreign workers of tabling budgets in 2025, which means for next year, then there will be compulsory for all the foreign workers who are working in Malaysia as well. Why they want to have this initiative? Because they want to provide a greater fairness in the labor markets, and then they want to make sure that all of the social protections are for all of the workers, regardless they are from any types, any nation with the international standards. The others in Australia or in Australia, in Singapore, actually they already have the rules that not only to have the joint employees or employers contribution savings scheme for their own permanent residents only. They also provided the plan for their foreign workers. That's why Malaysia also going to follow the international standards. And then they have an overview of the employee responsibilities on the EPF, social and the EIS. For the EPF, which means that there are the governments that will have 1991 over here. The EPF is one of the retirement saving of the scheme, so that all of the workers that need to be contributes of their employees' providence funds over here. And then this saving that will be contributes and managed and invest under the Simpanan commissioners or the Simpanan Sharia over here. The saving actually they are comprised by all of the workers and all of the employees who are monthly contributions. And that every year the governments or the EPF there will be the Simpanan Sharia there will be provide them the yearly dividends, and usually the range of the yearly dividends there are for under 4 to 5%. And then if the economy is in a good conditions, then every year they are able to get the dividends of 6%. So after they got dividends, then every year they will be topping out and then as well. So these are they want to compulsory for all of the workers to be do the saving over here. And then next is the Pekeso. But the Pekeso, these are the two schemes over here. They want to have the employment injury scheme and the invalidities of the scheme over here. So from this Pekeso, all of the employers, all of the boss, they are compulsory to force their workers, that are compulsory to register their workers and then as the successor of the member. So that this scheme actually there are governance under this Employee Social Security Act in 1969 over here. And then the injury of the scheme actually they want to protect all the workers if they are facing any occupational accidents, or maybe they want to make sure that some of the workers they are unable to work because of they got injury, or maybe they have some conditions like unlikely to be cured of the conditions or maybe of the death, then they have the protections and then they still can be survived during that period. They still can be have money to survive during that period. Therefore, these are why that every one of them need to be have the Employees of Social Security Acts over here. And then all of the Malaysians and the permanent residents of the employees, they must be registered with the SOCSA except for those who are working in the federal and the state government permanent employees, because they already have their own pensions, so they are not required to be registered under the SOCSA over here. And then who are self-employed in the sector as well. And then of 2019 in January, they also encourage those foreign workers who are working in Malaysia also will be protected in the sector as well. So the employer need to make sure that there will be submits all their workers' share of contributions, and then every month their workers' information that also need to be provided to the SOCSA as well. The last one is the EIS. EIS is the employment insurance system over here. For the employment insurance system, they want to protect those who are aged between the 18 years old and those who are aged between 18 and 16 years old, who are loss of employments, except that who are loss of their employments. For example, like during the COVID times, because many companies they are facing losses and then they are unable to earn the profit. So what they can do is they want to be cut the numbers of the workers. Then they might be reduce the workers from 100 to become 15 of them. So 15 of them, what can they do is they might be forced to resign, or might be there are loss of their employments in a sudden. So during that period, if the companies or their boss already help them to buy the employments of the insurance system, then when the loss of their employments, they are able to get one lump sum of money, maybe 13,000 or maybe 20,000 during that period. So they have the monies, and then they can be use their money for them to find the others job periods of they're going to find out to open up their own business by themselves. All of the workers to all of the workers, all of the employers, all of the boss to help their workers to pay for the employments of the insurance scheme system over here. And then these unconditional terminations of the contract, which means that they're complete of their projects already, and then their contract, some of them, they are not permanent staff, they are contract based, which means that they will be going to renew their contract every 2 years or any 3 years. So might be some of them might be there might be loss of their works after 2 years or after 3 years, and then during the periods when they want to find of the other jobs, then they will have the monies to be survived. So this is why that this over here. Next, the Malaysians of providence of the funds, which means that in this fund is one of the system over here that the government encourage all of their workers to be open an account and then put their monies over here. So in Malaysia, actually, we have one of the trend, which means that there no need to be save their retirement money, because the things that the children will be looked after the age of the parents, and then there no need to save any money for that. But in nowadays, because of the cost of living is increasing, and then the cost for you to pay for the food also increasing, even the spending for also because of the inflation, or even buy the house also expenses, also very expensive. Therefore, you can see that nowadays some of the young children that also do not have enough of the saving. Therefore, it might be facing a lot of problems if the Malaysians that still have the old they still have the trend like they want to be depends on their children to look after them after they retire. Therefore, in the modern world already, then the governments that are they also encourage all of the workers over here, they need to be voluntary to save of their sufficient of the money, so that they have enough of monies, or those that already retired, they still can be paid for their medical fees, they still can be paid for their health facility. And then also the health facility is started to be increasing a lot compared as well. And then in Malaysia, will be at least the basic salary for more than 20 years. Then they need to be have at least their saving is 390,000 for ringgit Malaysia, so that every month that still can be spend 1,675 for them to be survived, to pay for their foods, or maybe just for the basic of the health checking only. But if you need to make sure that every year you can be spend like 2,700 or 3,000 like that, so the adequate saving already increased to 650,000, which means that every one of them, they need to make sure that they have their employee providence of the fund at least 650,000. Therefore, this is why that government need to enforce every one of the workers to make sure that they have enough of money. If not, then they might be facing a lot of problems, especially for those nowadays they have people that they're facing a lot of the health problems. If they're facing a lot of health problems and then in Malaysia, some of them actually their saving only have 15,000 in their accounts only. So if they only have 15,000 in their account, which means that they only spend for 3 years, maybe less than 3 years, then they already finish up all their money in their account already. Then they will be facing a lot of the stress problem for the financial security. And then next is the for the of the provision funds, they need retirement years, and then they have the national compulsory of the savings scheme, which means that because those who are working in their government sectors, then they will be able to have their pension fund. If they have pension fund, then there no need to be do their saving in employee provision fund. But for those who are working in the private sectors, actually the individuals, there are compulsory for them to have their employee provision fund over here. And then next is the fundamentals of the support of the Malaysia's pension system, which means that they want to make sure that they have the financial securities in the retirements to their incentive, so that during that periods, they have more money for them to use after they retire. And then they have over 90% of the employee of the fund members that are enough of the saving basic saving 240,000 by their retirement age as well. And then there are individuals that need to have at least 35,000 if they're already in the age of 30 years old, so that they are able to get their retirement saving of 360,000 by age of 55. But currently, they found that they have 52% of the IPIEF of the contributors. They have less than 10% in their accounts, and then they have 27% of them have less than 1,000 in their IPIEF provision fund, which means that most of them, they are facing of the financial insecurity during that period. The post-retirement years. The workers, they're going to contribute 11%, and then their boss and the employers, they're going to be deduct 12% of their incomes. So for their incomes, if they earns 3,000, then 12% will be deduct from the employers to pay for the income for the IPIEF over here, and then the workers will be contributes 11% over here. And then now the minimum incomes that need to be paid from the employers to the employees actually is 1,800. Minimum income in Malaysia already increased to 1,800 nowadays. And then those who are after 16 years, actually they also can be still contributes in their employees of the providence of the fund over here. But the percentage of the contributions started to be decreased. Before age of 16 years old, there will be contributes 11%. But after the age of 60, there can be contributes 5.5% out of their income. So it's like less than half of this. And then the same for all the boss and the employers. there will be contributes 12% of their income as well. Okay, so this is the employees of the providence of the funds over here. For those workers who are failed to pay for the employee of the provident funds, actually there are of the employee of the providence funds, they will be going to pay all of the money. And then what can they do is they need to make sure that all of them are going to pay, unless those of the voluntary, which means that those are the public sector's workers on the pension scheme. They are not compulsory to pay for the employee pension fund, but they can be choose to pay for the pension funds if they have extra money over here. And then those foreign employees, like those who are non-Malaysian workers, they also can have the choice to contribute for the employee of the pension fund voluntary over here. And then the domestic servants is like those who perform works in their private household. For example, those who are helping to taking care children in the house, or the elders who are doing the gardening or the guiding in the house, or those who are doing the cleaning of the house and the cooking in the house, that one, they also can be performed, and then they can become the voluntary of the members who contributes in the employee of the private pension funds over here. And then the last one is the self-employed persons. Those who are doing their own business, those who becomes their own boss. Usually, they didn't have the employment of the pension fund, but now in Malaysia, because they found that a lot of people they do not have enough of money for them to use when they're retired. Therefore, now governments are encourage all of them. If for those self-employed person, if every year they are able to contribute more than 5,000, then there will be them they will be giving they want to anchor. The others is the domestic servants is like the housewife, right? The housewife also they want to encourage them to have their own employees of the private pension funds over here. Then they will say that it's the same for them. If every 200 that they're going to provide, then the government also will be pay extra 100 for them. So these are all the strategy that the governments in Malaysia encourage all of the workers, or even those are the residents over here, to pay for their pension fund, so that they have enough of money for them to pay and then survive in their future after they're already retired. And then if for those workers, they found that if their boss or their employers are unable to help them to contribute that required by the law, then actually these are the illegal actions, and these are the serious offense over here. Then there can be reports, or then they can be go for the labor courts, and then they can be sue their employers over here. And then their employers will be going to facing the offense punishments over here. Either there will be need to be pay up all of the money that they own for their workers. For example, if they own for their workers like 15,000, then after they found out that they didn't pay for it, and then the workers go for the labor courts and then sue their boss, then the boss will need to get the punishments of they need to be pay all the monies that they're owned by their workers of 5,000 over that. There also might be phasing in the due of 6 months over here. The others is what? There will be cease of their assets, which means that all of their assets, they are unable to use it anymore. Until they already pay out all of their monies, then the boss only can be release their assets and then they can be used it again for their all of their assets, or even the house that they own by them, they also will be seized by the labor court. The last punishment is they need to prevent us from them to leaving of their country. So the director of the country, they are unable to go to overseas, and then they are unable to leave Malaysia unless they already pay out all the money. Then the monies that they are owned by their workers, after they pay out all the lump sum of the money, and then the fine that the or the fine that they need to pay going to travel to the other's country or the other's foreign country as well. So these are the 4 offense or the punishments will be faced by the company if the director of the companies or the owner of the company, if they fail to pay for their or contributes for the EPF or remains the EPF contributions over here. What is the definitions for the wage under the EPF? Because in here we need to know that they have the definitions of the how many incomes that they need to be contributed. This is based on 11% or 12% just now that we mentioned, right? Then what is the wage that we're going to be under the EPF Act over here is all of the remuneration, the money, because the workers service of the company, and this one there will be included all of their bonus for each of the years or each of the months, or even all the allowance paid by the workers to all the paid by the employers to all their workers. But this will not including all the service charge. The service charge such as all when the peoples or the fees that collected to pay for the service that related to the products or the service that being to purchase, that one will not be included over here. And then the traveler, the overtimes of the payments, those who are work for extra hours, maybe after 5 o'clock in Malaysia, they need to work from 9 until 5, or some of them they work until 9 until 6. Those who are work extra times after 6, or they work after their work during the periods of o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then that one will not be included in the incomes that there will be contributes in their employee of the provident funds over here. And then the traveling allowance is like those of the compensations of the employers that will be cover the workers who are travel when they are traveling for their business purpose. The costs such as those who are staying in the hotel, and then the costs that are staying in the transportation costs, the flight then that take from one places to another places, that one also will not included in the wages that will need to be included in the employees of the provident fund over here. And then the retrenchments or the terminations benefits, such as the payments payments of terms of the last basic salary, and then it already worked for here for more than 10 years, then there need to be terms of the 10 years. So these are the terminations of the benefits. Terminations of benefits or the gratitudes of the benefits usually these two, it will be paid one shots after they retire or after they are terminated of their contract. For example, one of the lecturers who are working in one university or University Malaysia Sabah in here, and then they are contract based. They only work for 2 years only. Then after they already finish up their contract, then they are eligible to get their retrenchments of the terminations of the benefits. Then that means that they are able to get their loss of their basic salary times 7.5%. And then times the length of so all these terminations benefits or the special allowance that they're able to get actually is not included in the wages for the definitions of the wages over here. So next is the EPF Provident Funds. Actually, they have 3 accounts over there. They have 2 accounts. The first account is they really cannot use it in Malaysia because they're only able to get it after they are 15 years old or after they are 16 years old of their retirement. But they have the others account, which means that they have 15% of the all of the monies that they already contributes in the employees of the provident funds, then they can be withdrawn over here. But you need to make sure that you have the certain reason that are fall under here. Those who want to buy or build a house, or they want to buy or build a house, that only can be taken once in a year only. Once in a whole life. When they want to buy a house, then they can be take out the monies in the employee of the provident fund. Why government want to set this type of rule? Because government need to make sure that all of the youngest people they have money to buy a new house, and then they are able to own of their house. And then next is they pay off a housing loan taken from the commercial banks. So because every people's when they are buying their housing loan, then they need to be paid off of their loan. So some of them they are unable to pay for it, but they can be the employee of the provident funds to help them to pay off for the loan. But this pay off the housing loan cannot say that every month that will be withdraw all the money, cannot. They're only able to get the payments in once a year only. And then it also depends how many monies are available inside the employee of the provident funds over that. Next is pay for the medical expenses, which means that those that are unable, they do not have any extra money to pay for their medical fees, or maybe their parents, or maybe their son or their daughters, maybe they already have a serious sickness over here, then they will be give them the medical expenses, and then they can be withdraw the money from the employee of the provident funds. The others is they pay for their living expenses. Some of them maybe they have the accidents or the serious illness, and then they do not have any money for them to use anymore. So the employee provision funds over here, there will be the people's that will be provided, then they can be pay for the living expenses over here. The others is pay fees for the tertiary educations for the member, which means that those of the members of the employees of the provision fund, they can be withdraw certain of money to pay for the tertiary education for the member. But it's only limits for them for every semester or every academic years. And then it also need to depend, and then they make sure that every years you cannot be withdraw more than 8,000 per year. The others is invest in a proof of the unit trust. There will be find some unit trust and provide some unit trust if they are legally. Then there will be make sure that all the form that need to be submitted over there and then provided to the IPIEF and then they will be checked through it whether this unit trust is trustable. If it's trustable, then there will be draw, and then you can be invest in the unit of the Haji for the Muslim member. Some of them, they do not have any money for them to go for Umrah. So what can they do is they can be use up their employee of the provident funds, the saving in the retirement saving. So they can be use up a lump sum of money, a portions of their money, and then to pay for them to go for the Haji for the Muslim member. Usually they will be need to submit the form, and then they need to be wait for 2 weeks or 3 weeks like that. Then there will be, if are approved, then they will be able to get the money to go for Haji as well. Is it okay, all of you? Do you all have any questions you'd like to ask until this part? Can you all hear me?
Yes, doctor, we can hear you clearly. So I think it's everything clear, doctor. So
Then I continue.
okay, let's.
All right.
Right.
Okay, next is the SOCSE, which means the Workers' Social Security Act over here. So why that they need to have the employees of the Social Security, which means that they need to have to make sure all the workers, when they are facing accidents, and then they will be receive the comments over here. And then every month is also will be contributed by the employees and all of the employers. Each of them, they will be share the portions, and then the employers will need to pay of 1.7% of their monthly wages, and then the workers need to be paid 0.5% of their monthly wages as well. So from here, the scheme over here actually is there are forced that they are compulsory, and then they need to make sure that all of the Malaysian workers, those who are working in private sectors, because those who are working in the government sectors, they no need to pay for it. Then that will be covered by the pensions. And then those who are earn up more than 3,000, then they need to be paid for it. So for here, all of their money will be paid for the employers, which means that the employers, they need to pay of their monies, and then they need to make sure that all the payments will be including of their leave, their holiday, or their extra times of the holiday. But all this will not be included of their definitions of the income, will not be including of their traveler allowance, or even the annual bonus. Like in here, some of the companies, they will be giving some annual bonus. Like those who are, for example, in Malaysia, those who are working in university, in one of the private university, they will be giving up their annual bonus of 1 month or 2 months of their monthly salary. But this annual bonus here will not be included in the wages. They will be encountered to pay for their is what the reimbursements of the such as all of the employers, they need to be paid their fund back to the employees who already use their own money to pay for their business related expenses. For example, maybe some of them they need to be paid some of the expenses of their business purpose. Like if they want to be travel from one places to the other places, maybe they need to go meetings. They need to be go meeting from one place to the other places, and then they need to plan for the petrol first. Then they need to pay up for the petrol money first. After that, they will be claimed back from the company. So the company they need to be reimbursed for the employee related expenses. They will be claimed back for the company, but the money cannot be included as the wages for the employee. The Social Security Act over here. The last one is the gratuity pays, which means that after the end of the contract, they also are unable to pay for it. So these are all of the social security protections and the wages. The last part is we will be discuss about the foreign employee protections of the scheme. For the foreign employee protections of the scheme, because the government not only make sure that all of the workers who are working in the Malaysians who are able to be protected. They're also going to be protect all of the foreign employees who want to work in Malaysia. They need to make sure those are coming from Indonesia, those who are coming from the Bangladesh, from Bangla, and then those who are coming from the Vietnams. When they are facing injuries or they are facing any disabilities, they still have the money for them to pay for their cost of living over here. Therefore, for here, for the Foreign Employee of the Protection Schemes Act over here. For the work, they are purposely created for all the foreign workers who are working in Malaysia, and then they need to make sure that they are purchase and insurance of the policy, and then they also provide them the compensations in case they are facing the work-related accidents or the work-related disease over here. And then they also need to make sure that the insurance policy they must pay for by the employers, and then every times all of the employers they need to be buys the insurance whether they are from the insurance company or but this one for those who already buy the success for their for their foreign workers, then there no need to be purchase of the workmen's of the compensation, because both of them they have same of the functions are protects all of the foreign workers when they are facing accidents or they are facing any work related disease over here. And then for the Workmen's of the Compensations Act over here, actually they want to be protect them during the course of the employment. They have 5 types over here for the Workmen's of the Compensations Act. The first one is the medical benefits. For the medical benefits, all of the insurance company, they will help those workers who are coming from the other country when they are facing injury, then they will be pay up them the medical benefits. Like they will be paying them the fees of the diagnostic, the treatments, the surgery, or the rehabilitations or the medicals of the medical device over here. For example, if a chef that get burns on his finger while he working on the stove, and then the insurance company that will be paid for his medical expenses, this will be including of the diagnostic medicals and the dressing as well. Therefore, these are the medical benefits that will be protected by the Workmen's Compensations Act. The others is what? The next element is loss of wages. These 5 types will be protected if they have five circumstances occurs over here, then they will be get the money. get the compensations by the insurance company. The second one is loss of the wages. Loss of the wages, such as the employees who are unable to work because their work-related injury or their illness, it entitles to a compensation for the lost company. Then what can they do in periods? They might be get maybe 2 months or 3 months of the salary of their basic salary, so that they have the money to survive over here. Then the third one is disability benefits. When the workers who are working and then as a result of their permanently or partially disability, maybe as a result of the work-related injury or the illness will be entitled, and then the doctors already come out of the certificates, and then that mentions that these patients or these workers actually they are entitled to the disability compensations. So the insurance company will be paid for the disability compensations. And then for example of this is the truck driver. If the truck driver that already the paralysis in the lower half of his body, maybe they cannot move anymore and then they cannot go for working. So during this period, the insurance company that will be pay him the disability compensations, and then they're going to compensate him for his future of the loss of the earnings over here. And then the fourth one is rehabilitations of the benefits, which means that there are physical therapy or the occupational therapy and the speech therapy. All these that will be paid by the insurance company. If a worker that lost his arm at the works, or maybe they are lost during some, may for example, they have a worker actually they are working in the operational departments that operate of the machines, and then suddenly the machines that have technical issue, and the workers actually they already lost of their arms at the works. Then insurance company will pay them for his rehabilitations to help them to adjust to a new lifestyle. Or maybe previously they only know how to operate of the machines. Then after the insurance company pay them for the rehabilitation to help them, then there will be regain of their new job skill. Maybe they learn to talk better in the sales and then to become the salesperson during the periods of their losing of their jobs. So these are the rehabilitations of the benefits over here. Or the other examples is those workers who are working in the construction site, because for the construction site they are more noisy compared to the other places. So some of the workers, after they work for more than 10 years or more than 5 years, there might be loss of their hearing. So maybe their hearing conditions might be become lower and lower. They can be go for their physical therapy. It will not be it will be bear by the insurance companies over here. Therefore, this also fall under the rehabilitations of the benefits. And then the last one is the death benefits. For the death benefits, those workers actually they are passed away, or maybe they are injury, or there are illness over here. And then after they pass away, then they will be able, there are, because some of them, they are the dependents of the whole family. So they do not have money to pay for their funeral expenses. Then what can do is they can be asked for the insurance company if they are already buy for the workman compensations over here, the scheme. So they can be asked of the insurance company to help pay for the funeral expenses. The others, like the example, need to be go into the there need to be go if they have fires occur, they need to be go to the place over here. So if the firefighters that are die while they're fighting for fires, then for the insurance company, they will have them to pay for his family funeral expenses or their debts compensations. So after they get help them to pay for these expenses, it will be help them to get through all the difficult times as well. Therefore, these are why that all that not only help the workers in Malaysia to buy their insurance, they also need to make sure that all of the foreign workers who are work in Malaysia also are able to get off their Compensations Act over here if they do not have the success. So they can be go for the workman compensation scheme. These are the protection scheme that want to be protects all of the workers. Okay, so these are the slide already. Thank you for joining us today. And then thanks for all of you to spend the time to listen for my lecture. May I know, do you have any questions you'd like to ask?
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor. Okay, thank you so much, Doctor, for the materials for your presentations. It's very insightful for us, especially for the students here. Thank you so much. So maybe for the student, is there any questions for Doctor for
So
Doctor Chang?
do you all have any questions?
Is there any questions for the students? Maybe nothing. Questions, Doctor.
Oh, the student do not have any questions for me.
Yeah. So maybe for the last, maybe you can give us some closing statements before we end this meeting.
Okay. Thanks for joining the class. And I think that's all of you. I'm not sure. I'm sure in Indonesia they also have the security law and the compensations act, right? And
Yeah.
all this actually is very important for us to know about the social security system, so that when we are facing accidents or maybe we are facing any circumstances, certainly, but we still have the secure of the protections for us. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Good. Thank you for joining the lecture, and then I feel very it's my pleasure to get invited to be one of the guest lecturer over here. And then I would like to thanks of the university. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Doctor, for the closing statements. Maybe we can close in these sections.
Okay.
Is it right? Is it okay? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So thank you so much for Dr. Chung and also for the students who participate in these sections in international guest lectures. Maybe we can close the sessions. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you for all the
Thank you.
students and also Dr. Chung.
Nice to meet you all.
Yes.
Okay. Bye.